Hi everyone. Welcome to my video presentation based on the book, Feed by M.T.ANDERSON. My diary entries will focus on my sensorial experiences while reading and viewing the text from Feed. Well, let's get on with it. Oh wait, I forgot to warn you. There may be some ads in between, but don't worry, they'll entertain you, and eventually influence the consumerist in each of us. That was a joke. You're supposed to laugh. Ha ha ha. Well, here we go. In the beginning, I was surprised, especially at how the feed worked. When Titus saw Violet for the first time, he struggled to find a descriptive word for her spine, which made me think he was inarticulate or he probably was lost for words for what he was seeing and feeling. But then, the feed provided a suggestion, which led me to think that the feed was picking up on what Titus was seeing, and trying to comprehend it for him. Like the title of this part, Your Face is Not an Organ, I realize and I'm entirely surprised at how those with the implanted feed were no longer in control of their mind. I conclude that their face is not an organ, but under the control of the feed, unlike a regular organ which is controlled by the mind. The feed's job and entire existence is to help people be super smart, without doing any work, like completing Titus's sentence for him, without having to think hard about a word to describe Violet. Back to where the feed provides a suggestion, I think that Titus has no experience in expressing his emotions to another. He probably never experienced it with his family, friends, or even past relationships. At the end of this scene, it is interesting to see how consumerism is prompted by a suggestion or a mere thought, as the ads come rolling in. This clarifies the real intention of the feed, to make all users consumerists with the help of advertisements, and inducing dissatisfaction, and solutions to temporarily become satisfied. For the middle, I was terribly shocked at Titus's expressions when his feed starts to work again. I expected him to be sad, because he missed all of the sales, but he was laughing and crying because the feed was fixed. Then, I realize he must be happy because he'll be back to what's normal for him. As the tech they depend on takes control again, the feed continues to reinforce them with their cycle of consumption, with the rush of ads and entertainment eagerly waiting for him to view. For the end, I was sad, and tearful as well. While reading each part, I saw the percentages decreasing, and I knew that it meant that Violet's feed was breaking apart, and her body was on the verge of shutting down. As I read each part, I saw how much Titus has changed over the course of the book. When he cried for Violet, it left me a little heartbroken, as I saw that he was no longer dependent on the feed for his expressions and emotions. I cried a bit, because it was sad for me to see where his consumerist and posh life has ultimately led him to. At the very end, you see, everything must go on the screen, and finally the ad slowly disappears. This led to many lingering questions, but I thought it symbolized the end of Violet's life, and what now seems to be the destruction of a consumerist-centered and unsustainable society. Like every end, there is always a new beginning. As the tears fall silently, I can only assume that Titus has restrained from using the feed, and is maybe part of the war against the United States. I'm proud that he has come so far, and finally has understood his feelings, but other than these mere assumptions, I can't help to think, where does this lead Titus? And more importantly, where does this lead us?